My name is Angela Coventry, and I'm Professor of Philosophy and Chair of the Philosophy Department at Portland State University. I've been part of this department for nearly 20 years, but that's a whole other story. It's my pleasure right now to welcome you to this special celebration of our department's 60th anniversary. For 6 decades, the PSU Philosophy Department has had the privilege of guiding countless students through various intellectual adventures. These adventures include fostering reflective and critical thinking and exploring the timeless philosophical questions that arise about the existence of our own selves, others, the world in which we live, and all of those relationships in between. To mark this milestone, I asked our faculty to create their own 60-second video tribute to celebrate 60 years of philosophy in Portland. The responses were nothing short of fantastic. These videos showcase the wide array of perspectives and unique personalities that make our community so distinct and, dare I say, lovable. Our faculty's dedication to teaching, their passion for philosophical inquiry, has left an indelible mark on a vast number of students, and this project is a testament to that enduring impact. So, sit back, enjoy the videos, and join us in celebrating 60 years of philosophical exploration and education at Portland State University. And here's to many more years of challenging and inspiring minds.
I've been teaching in the PSU Philosophy Department since 1993. I'd like to say 3 things. First, why philosophy? Because it's unavoidable. For any belief we have, there are assumptions that we're making that might constitute a basis for making that belief reasonable. And for any viewpoint we hold, there are implicitly, if not explicitly, implications of that view. What happens if you take the view seriously? Now, by the way, this is true across all disciplines. But philosophy, at least in principle, attempts to dig a little deeper, tries to push through to first principles about what we can know, how we ought to live, what there is really. Philosophy is in that way a discipline that is necessary. A little something about me. I've been lucky to teach philosophy here at PSU, a department which kind of adopted me a long time ago. And finally, I want to say something about the students. PSU is Oregon's urban university, and we get them all. First-generation students, people who came out west and wanted a new start, people who tried college elsewhere, washed out and needed a second chance, young parents whose kids are old enough to be in school, vets who come back from things most of us know little about. And there's a place for all of them here at PSU and in the PSU Philosophy Department. It's been my pleasure to be on this faculty, and I want to wish the department a happy 60th birthday, and I'm grateful to have been here for the second half of that 60 years, and I wish it 60 more good years. Bye for now.
Pouring a big toast for PSU Philosophy. We also have a beautiful, sustainable, natural Pacific Northwest bouquet of flowers in the background. Here's to you, 0 to 60 in exactly 60 years. But let me be clear, this toast is not an institutional one, not celebrating the fact that they didn't shut us down, or haven't. Instead, I want to toast to what we do. Grapple with concepts, analyze, synthesize, create big concepts. Now, this activity no doubt would go on, even if they shut us down in every other philosophy department. And now it seems that we're in the vicinity of something worthy of celebration, especially if we remind ourselves that concept in German is Begriff, where the root Griff in turn means to handle, to hold, to grasp, to grip. So that's the toast to PSU Philosophy, 60 years and still grasping. And to the current faculty and our students, graduated, present, and future. Get a big grip.
Hello, I'm Avram Hiller from the Philosophy Department at Portland State University, and I'd like to share with you my favorite bit of philosophy from the last 60 years in 60 seconds. Do you ever feel like you want your life to matter, you want things to matter, but then you gaze out into the universe, and from the view of the universe, your life doesn't matter, nothing really matters. Life just seems absurd. And this might cause you to feel depression or despair, or maybe get your fist in the air in frustration. Thomas Nagel, the philosopher, grappled with this issue. And Nagel came up with what I think is the best response to it. And here's what Nagel said. If, from the perspective of the universe, there's no reason to believe that anything matters, then that doesn't matter either. And we can approach our absurd lives with irony, and I might add good humor, instead of heroism or despair.
Happy 60th anniversary to the Portland State Philosophy Department. I'm Dr. Spencer, and today I want to share with you my favorite work of philosophy from the past 60 years, Gloria Anzaldúa's Borderlands La Frontera. Published in 1987, it's a groundbreaking text that explores the complex identities and intersections at the U.S.-Mexico border. 3 reasons why you should read it are: 1, Anzaldúa invites us to rethink concepts of identity, culture, and belonging. 2, it is written in a unique style that blends prose, poetry, and bilingualism. 3, it inspires readers to engage with social justice issues and to question the status quo by embracing the transformative power of multiple identities and perspectives. And if you'd like to learn more about Borderlands and Anzaldúa, take my Latinx philosophy course in fall 24, my course on Anzaldúa in winter 25, or my indigenous philosophy class in spring 25. Thanks.
Hi, my name is Landon. I graduated from PSU in 2021, and I think my own unique experience there is actually a testament to the strength and the resilience and really the profound value that the philosophy department brings to the table. I transferred to PSU with the plan to major in political science and just minor in philosophy, and throughout the time there, that slowly transformed into me wanting to double major, and then that transformed into me ensuring that I had the honors option with respect to my philosophy degree. And mind you, I did transfer in 2020 when not only winter courses were starting, but lockdowns were starting. And so my entire stint at PSU was effectively remote learning, with the exception of my final term. And I think that the fact that the faculty in the department managed to keep me engaged and excited and eager to continue exploring the discipline really speaks to the dedication and care that they have for fostering philosophical minds. I felt really included and respected, and I genuinely felt like the faculty was rooting for my success the entire time. And so I just wanted to say a big thank you to everyone in the department. You really made my own unique learning experience at a very uncertain time one that I will always hold near and dear to my heart, and one that I'll never forget and always cherish. So thank you all so much, and very much appreciate it.
So it's 1964. The PSU Philosophy Department opens for the first time. What might students have been reading in 1964, 60 years ago, that we can still think about today? One contender that I'd like to invite you to think about is this: Herbert Marcuse's One-Dimensional Man. Marcuse was an important intellectual at the time. He was one of the rallying figures for the student movement. And in this book, Marcuse puts forward the idea that thinking, political thinking, has been reduced to one dimension, and the power that's brought about this one-dimensionality is late period capitalism. The forms of production and consumption in capitalism by now have become so strong and so pervasive and so enmeshing that it's actually impossible to think and certainly to act beyond its confines. Any attempt to do so is simply condemned as useless utopianism. One of the ideas that Marcuse puts forward here is that essentially, as we get more comfortable in our lives, the few of us who, in a sense, reap the benefits of capitalism, our actual effective freedom becomes smaller. Another problem that Marcuse puts forward is that the ecological destruction that is necessary in this situation is simply intolerable. For us, working now 60 years later, we can see how important these thoughts are. But we also see, as Marcuse did before us, that a kind of collusion between big money and big politics is seemingly impossible to break. In civil society, all that we can do is talk about and think about alternatives. But this is still important. And so I think we should still keep on going back to this book, still thinking these thoughts, and still try to think 60 years on, what's next? What comes beyond this capitalist system?
Hi. As we celebrate the philosophy department's 60th anniversary at PSU, I have naturally begun to reflect on my own time here. And so I went and I dug up the very first bit of philosophy I did here in Portland. It was a talk I gave when interviewing for the job. The central topic was a dispute that comes up in Plato's Sophist about being. It's a dispute about what there is, and even more fundamentally, it's a dispute about what it means to be in the first place. Looking back on it now, I'm reminded of an insight that Charles Kahn, my mentor in graduate school, published just as the philosophy department was starting to stretch its legs here at PSU back in the 60s. He observed that in Greek and many other languages, the verb to be has a locative function. It situates whatever is as being in some place or other. You can still see traces of this in English, where we might reasonably substitute the claim that alien life exists with the claim that there are aliens. Aristotle's among the very first to protest that not everything that exists has to be somewhere or other. But for you and I, our being is importantly place-bound, and I couldn't be happier about that place's having been Portland for the past 12 years or so. Here's looking ahead to the next 60 of philosophy at PSU. Congrats.
Happy birthday, Philosophy of Portland State. Happy 60 years. It's Monica here, and I have chosen to take you to Willamette Falls, just a few miles south of Portland. The reason I'm here is because this is the second largest waterfall in the continental US, next to Niagara Falls. And as you can see, it is surrounded by the remnants of industry. And on this side, which is the east side of the Willamette River, 5 indigenous tribes have together purchased that in order to take down the remnants of old industry and turn it into a green space. This is relevant to our concerns in environmental ethics, a sub-discipline of philosophy that has more or less blown up since philosophy was born at Portland State. One text that I'm interested in, it was published by Garrett Hardin in Science Magazine in 1968, and it's called The Tragedy of the Commons. Namely, what do we do about sharing public spaces with one another, and is privatization our best option? I'm not convinced. You tell me. In the meantime, keep doing good work, philosophers. Thanks.
Maurice Hamington, professor of philosophy at Portland State University. And I can't believe that philosophy has been at Portland State for over 60 years. That's fantastic. One thing, one development, one big change in that 60 years is the development of feminist care ethics. Up until it was created, ethics was dominated by Kantian thinking, virtue ethics, utilitarianism, and now there's this whole field focusing on the context and relationality in morality, which grew out of care ethics and has changed the way we think about it. And for a lot of people all over the world in a lot of different fields beyond philosophy, care has become so important. And so this is one of the big highlights that I think has really transformed philosophy in the last 60 years.